to be meaningful for our people as a whole. In other words, they've got to see themselves as being part of a collective, part of a family that holds them accountable for their behavior. So that what they're doing right now has got to lead to something that they're going to do later. They can't just be about saying, well, my teacher doesn't know what he's talking about because he said such and such, or, you know, what he did to me was wrong on such and such a day. We've got to affirm them in those observations, and at the same time hold them accountable for being the best that they can be. So these things are going on at the same time, and that puts us, you know, that's rough. It's hard, but that's where we're at. It's not a one or the other kind of thing. It's not because you want them to be in school and do well in school, therefore when they come back critical, you say, oh no, you're wrong. You know, you can't say that to a teacher. And it's not, on the other hand, because what they're saying makes sense, then that lets them off the hook and says, well, no, they don't have to be responsible at this time and be learning and be in a learning environment. We've got to be honest with them about the contradictions in our situation now. And we've got to be honest with ourselves about that. We live daily in contradiction. You see, and to deny that would not really do us any good. We've got to understand that. What that does is it puts more responsibility on us for building and creating what we have to create. And obviously what we've got to create is we've got to create new environments. And as we do that, that's the hard work. Because you gotta work all the time. You got to keep doing it. You got to keep questioning yourself. You got to keep raising the kinds of questions that you're asking. I think that that's one of the things that Aikwe Armand was saying in 2000 season, was that things became, it was too good. What does he call it? A too sure harmony, he says. And we didn't feel, you know, everything was right. Everything was the way it was supposed to be, and we didn't have to work at it anymore. So what we did was to lose it. And we didn't do the rituals that we were supposed to do with the same kind of meaning that they were supposed to have. And what began to develop were the schisms between us, you see? And once the schisms developed and then they hardened, then they made us vulnerable for the enemy to come in. But the schisms were already there. So what I'm saying is that what you're pointing at is the hard day-to-day work that we have to do in a situation which is contradictory. You're living daily contradictions. But what you're trying to do is to work them through, to work for the best all the time, continually. You've got to, you know, so you got to hold the teachers accountable. But you have to do it in such a way that you're not saying, you're not denying their worth. You see, you're affirming what they're trying to do, but you're also saying, look, you got to look at this as well. You got to do the same things that you're asking the children to do, which is to question your behavior and say, is it African-centered? Question what you're saying, is it African-centered? You know, ask that question, which was what we teach our children to ask. Is it good for African people? Okay, so I'm getting the time signal here. But thank you very much. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your patience. This is our first session. It wasn't easy. But now do the reading, and then come back and discuss among yourselves. Read it like I told you, 6 pages a night, that first chapter. Remember that your frame of reference is always the African conception, the conception of a spiritual universe, and the differences between, contrast it with what you'll be what would be described here. Okay? Madasi.
Rises chanting La Mumba, La Mumba, 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 La Mumba, La Mumba, 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 Mumba. No mere body odor here. This is African scent, smothering all traces of European brats and unemployment lines, wreaking revenge, sought desires. Pawn the king's paw as an opening. Any move will do, but it must be scientifically intuitional. Must be harmonically improvised so as to seem irrational to the computerized minds who like to pretend that they have all the answers. La Mumba, La Mumba, 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 La Mumba, La Mumba, 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 Mumba. Better start reading Nkrumah. Better start reading Mao. Better start reading Shea. Better start reading Cabral. Better start digging on Maurice Bishop. Better start checking out Rap's Rap, Baraka's Chopper, Miles Styles, Bird's Word. Give me that piece. You